There is a moment, my friend, when you feel it not in your mind, not even in your heart, but in your spirit. It sweeps in like a gentle wind, unannounced, unforced, but unmistakable. And suddenly, the words you thought you needed to say begin to tremble at the edge of your lips, and they no longer matter. Because something greater has come. The Spirit of the living God has taken over. You can speak no more, you dare not. Not out of fear, no, not fear, but out of awe, out of a sacred reverence that floods your very soul. And in that hush, oh, that holy hush, you realize that silence has become sacred. You see, it's not about eloquence. It's not about the cleverness of your words or the strength of your voice. It's not about volume or persuasion, no. When the Spirit takes over your speech, it is no longer you speaking. It is not your voice that matters. It is His presence. There are times when we try so hard, so earnestly, to express the depths of our love for God, to explain the wonders of His glory, to tell the world about His mercy, His power, His grace. But what are words compared to the Spirit? What are syllables and sounds compared to the breath of the Almighty sweeping through a room, through a heart, through a life? Oh, I have seen it, I have felt it. I have stood before thousands, prepared to say something meaningful, something profound. And just when I thought I had something important to say, He came, the Holy Spirit, not loud, not forceful, but undeniable. And in that moment, my lips grew still, my voice was silenced, but my soul was singing, because the Spirit was there. You cannot force Him. You cannot summon Him with strategy or schedule. He is not a guest who responds to invitation cards or fanfare. He comes where He is welcomed, where hearts are hungry and spirits are surrendered. And when He comes, words fail. Not from lack of meaning, but because meaning has already filled the room. You know the moment I speak of, that moment when the air feels thicker, not with heat or heaviness, but with holiness. That moment when a hush falls over the crowd. Not because someone demanded silence, but because something greater than all of us has entered in, and suddenly you dare not speak. You don't need to speak. The Spirit has taken over. It is in that silence that you hear Him best, not with your ears, but with your spirit. It is there that He whispers truths too deep for language, comfort too tender for expression, power too mighty for sound. You want to shout, but you cannot. You want to dance, but you are still, because He is there. And His presence, oh, it arrests you. It quiets the noise within and without. The burdens, the questions, the doubts, they fade, not because they've been answered, but because they no longer matter. The only thing that matters is Him, and He is enough. I've stood on platforms prepared to preach, to teach, to deliver the word, and there were times when the notes I had prayed over, the scriptures I had memorized, the illustrations I had carefully planned, all of it felt like paper in a windstorm, useless, fragile, because the Spirit had other plans, and I stepped back, and I let Him speak, sometimes through a song, sometimes through a tear, sometimes through silence. You must understand, when the Spirit truly takes over your speech, He does not just anoint your words, He transforms them, He breathes into them. And sometimes He does away with them altogether, because there is a deeper language, a language of the Spirit that speaks without sound. Have you ever felt it? That moment in worship, when the music fades and no one moves and the silence hangs not as emptiness but as fullness, as if the very breath of heaven is brushing against your cheek. That is sacred silence. That is the voice of God speaking without words. We are so quick to fill the void, to keep talking, to keep explaining, to keep performing. But the Spirit is not found in the noise. He is found in the stillness, in the surrender, in the quiet place where we stop striving and start listening. The prophets of old, they knew this. Elijah heard the fire, the wind, the earthquake. But the voice of God came in the still small whisper, not in the clamor, not in the chaos, but in the quiet. And Jesus, oh Jesus, even He would withdraw to lonely places, not to escape the people, but to be alone with the Spirit, to be filled, to be renewed. And when He returned, He spoke with power, not because of His human voice, but because of divine authority. Authority birthed in silence. My beloved, do not despise the silence. Do not rush past it. Do not fill it with unnecessary noise. When the Spirit takes over your speech, you will find yourself speaking less and listening more. You will find yourself weeping more than you speak, groaning more than you preach, worshiping more than you explain. Because there are depths of God that cannot be taught. They must be caught, and they are caught in the stillness of sacred silence. There is power in speech when the Spirit breathes through it. But there is even greater power when He silences it, because when He silences your voice, He awakens your spirit. And your spirit, oh, your spirit begins to commune with the living God in a language no man taught you, a language no man can interrupt, a language no man can imitate. It is in this place that miracles are born, Not always the miracles we expect, but miracles of transformation, of surrender, of divine intimacy. These are the true miracles. The moments when the Creator of the universe wraps His presence around your heart and says, "Be still, I am here." You could shout, you could sing, but sometimes you don't, because you are too overwhelmed. The tears flow, the hands tremble, the breath catches, but the voice is silent. And in that silence, heaven draws near. This is what it means to be overtaken by the Spirit. To let Him speak through you, and sometimes to let Him speak instead of you. You do not lose your voice, no, you surrender it. You do not become mute, you become a vessel. And vessels are most powerful when they are empty and waiting. I remember moments, precious moments, when all I could do was fall to my knees. Not because I was told to, not because of emotion, but because the presence of God had filled the room so fully, so tangibly, that no word, no phrase, no song would do, only silence. And in that silence the Spirit moved, not with lightning, not with thunder, but with glory. There were people in those rooms who were healed, not because someone laid hands on them, not because someone shouted a command, but because the Spirit passed by, and they received, they believed, they were touched, not by flesh, but by God. How little we truly understand of His ways, how easily we depend on our own strength, our own knowledge, our own preparation. But when the Spirit takes over your speech, you find yourself depending not on what you know, but on who you know. And He is faithful. He will take the trembling words of a yielded soul and turn them into rivers of living water. He will take the whisper of a surrendered heart and shake the heavens. He will take the silence of a spirit in awe and fill it with His glory. So let Him speak, let Him move, let Him take over. Hold your tongue when He fills the room. Yield your voice when He descends. Stand in awe when He draws near. For when the Spirit takes over your speech, silence becomes sacred. And in that sacred silence, the voice of God will be heard, not with ears, but with the Spirit, and it will change you forever. And so, my beloved, I leave you with this: guard that silence. Cherish it, do not rush it, do not resist it, for it is holy. When the Spirit takes over your speech, when He breathes upon your words, or stills them entirely, you are standing on sacred ground. In that quietness, He is doing what no human voice can do. Let Him have your tongue, your thoughts, your very breath. For in that surrender, in that holy hush, heaven draws near and God speaks.